became extremely successful in what you do. And I think one of the things a lot of people within the Affluent Academy think is like, a lot of people don't actually really know that much about your agency. Like, one of the things that I was always thinking is like, do you have an office or is it completely freelance?
So we started off completely freelance. I was one of them agencies at the start, and it's ironic because I don't normally advise people to do the same thing that we did. So I started off, and my first ever clients, the contract was, they were signed to me. It was like, you are working with Jordan Platten. I didn't even have a limited company set up until my third client. And so I actually took my first payment into my personal bank account and had to transfer into my business. I was a freelancer without a website for the first probably almost 12 months of our agency. I was scaled to six-figure point as a freelancer, just operating as myself. Now, the reason why that worked is because I had a YouTube channel and because someone could still see some kind of online presence from me. So if I reached out to someone, they Googled my name, at least they could see something, and I was talking about marketing. And so I was who I was saying I was. It was at the point of about 12 months in when we had worked with a lot of contractors, had a few problems with it, that I realized that the freelance model wasn't really going to work if I wanted to scale up a lot further. And so then we took on Joe, who actually happened to be one of our other members of the Affluent Academy. We went in partnership together, gave up a percentage of the company. And since then, we've just scaled rapidly as an agency, rebranded from Jordan Platten to the Affluent Agency. We don't have any physical office. We keep super lean. It's me, Joe, and Tom. Tom's our account manager. He's managing about 9 ad accounts himself. Joe managed a whole heap of others. And we've onboarded 8 new clients in the last 4 weeks alone. And so we've used the original inbound sales systems that we had built out, such as our personal brand, and we just have utilized them for our new rebranded marketing agency, the Affluent Agency. We're literally hiring a graphic designer today who's coming onto the team as well. So we can now be introducing graphical elements to our ads and improving all of our creatives and things as well. So we're super, super lean, and we were always very private about our agency when we were freelance, because we had a lot of people who it's really weird. Like when you're on the come up, when you're growing, even more so than when people already perceive you as being there. There's a lot of jealousy around in various industries. And we used to have people messaging our clients, like reaching out saying, hey, are you working with Jordan Platten? Hey, are you doing this? Because they're doing like their research and they're checking out to see you are who you say you are. And in doing that, they don't realize how ridiculous they make you look, because you're breaching all these confidentiality agreements, you're breaching trust. And we lost so many clients in our early stages because we made the mistakes of broadcasting this on our YouTube. Nowadays, you can go onto our website and you can see a client list on our recent blogs. Like we literally publish how many clients we sign up all the time. And we put the names out there because we are almost not too big to be touched or to be damaged, but our brand and our reputation is a lot bigger than it was back in the day. So our customers necessarily don't then get annoyed with us because they're very aware of who we are and what we do before they work with us. They know that we have this brand, so it's almost expected of them.
Yeah. Do you think it's worth going that way in terms of being able to leverage your brand? So like you're talking about here, if someone was to try and do it anyway, you've already managed excess of millions in ad accounts. And do you feel like that gives you a lot more leverage in them situations where someone can't try and undercut you in the market?
Do you mean as in like from the previous, as in leverage, as in the clients that we've got previously, or do you mean as in having the brand that we've got?
Just leveraging your brand in general. So like the name Jordan Platten and the Affluent Academy, leveraging that and the success of it.
Yeah, I mean, there's no doubt that the personal brand that we have helps us sign new clients. But what I think it does more over than any other agency is it just eliminates the need for us to do outbound sales. We simply do not have to outbound. So there's 1,000 agencies out there that do not have any personal brand attached to them. They don't have a big company brand attached to them, who are still incredibly successful. And not having a personal brand isn't going to hinder you at all. You can build a very successful agency. The only difference between me and someone who doesn't have one is that I don't have to outbound and another agency will. So it's just an inbound sales mechanism for us that makes our life a lot easier, but it isn't necessarily the be all and end all as to whether we're successful or not.
And do you actually work within a specific niche? Because I know a lot of people will try and niche down, or do you more just specialize in a certain aspect of marketing, which allows you to stay more open niched?
Yeah, we only advertise ourselves to e-commerce businesses. We started off incredibly local. I mean, it was a nightmare, to be honest. I only cared about making money when I first started. with the agency. And so I signed up a restaurant, I had a dentist, I had a gym, I had a bathroom showroom, which was a physical brick and mortar bathroom showroom, no online store. And that was an absolute nightmare. We signed up and we had a rug store, like a furniture in a family, again, no e-commerce element. And so we were just learning new industries all the time. It was an absolute mess. When we started getting case studies, we moved on to e-commerce. We did trial out info products. We have a couple of info product clients. But the thing we learned about info products is that the ads is like the icing on the cake. It's like 10% of the success of the business. We thought we could replicate what we know from the Affluent Academy and the success we've had there on other e-commerce businesses. But then we realized that actually it's all about the brand. It's all about the webinar. It's all about the rest of the funnel and all of that. So we moved away from that. Nowadays, we just focus on e-com. But actually, that being said, we signed up a law firm last week. So that kind of counters that. But we don't add, we're like majority e-commerce. That's kind of our bread and butter.
So another thing kind of on that as well, and on the turning point of scale, what is the first step for someone? How does someone first realize, right, okay, now is the time where I need to position for scale? And then secondly, how do they take that first step? What should the first step be to go start scaling your agency up?
Cool. So with some context, what kind of position are we saying? Are we saying they've got a couple of clients under the belt and it's just a one-man band still, or?
Well, that's the question. When should someone, is there a way to know, or is it just maybe when you can't do it yourself and you then need to start outsourcing? Is there a sort of benchmark for it?
Yeah, I mean, for me, it's always been when you feel pain. That's always my ethos with hiring. It's like when you feel pain, that's when you should hire. Like right now, we feel pain because nobody in the team apart from me is very good at graphic design, and everyone will very openly admit that. I don't have the time to do graphic design, and so we're feeling that pain. We need somebody, so we're hiring a graphic designer. We hired Tom, our ad account manager, when Joe could no longer manage all the ad accounts himself. So I think that's one of the big mistakes actually agencies make, is they think they need to scale too soon. So they start outsourcing things right at the start when they're just being lazy. So you should always be at your maximum capacity yourself before you look to expand, because you're going to cut into your profits every single time you do that. And if you lose one or two of your clients, that might be all of the profit that you've got. And then all of a sudden you've got no business. So my advice to any marketing agency owner is, unless you've got two choices really. You start off by yourself and you fulfill all the services and you sell. Once you get to probably, I reckon probably 6 to 8 clients, you won't be able to fulfill all those services yourself and still be able to sell. At that point, you're going to want to hire an account manager, or you're going to want to hire a salesperson. Either or, okay? You can go one way or the other depending on which skill you enjoy the most. The second option you have is starting off with a business partner from day one. Give them 50% of the business and you do sales, and they do ads, or they do ads and you do sales, or if you're not ads, it's just whatever your service delivery is. So ultimately, you're going to end up doing what you enjoy the most, but you never should hire out unless you're, if you're a one-man band, unless you're actually feeling that pain yourself, because you're just going to eat into too much profit.
And I assume that's just obviously different for every person. Some people are more creatively minded. Graphic design is not an issue for them, but they might need to outsource actually facilitating the fulfillment of the ad accounts and vice versa.
Yeah, 100%. It's different for every single person. There's no one size fits all in any of these kind of business models. Because I mean, your service could be Facebook ads, someone else's service could be web design. There's so many different elements that come involved. So.